What, is your guild full of cowards? Why don't you come over here and fight me already? Fury!
I'm ready.
That's dangerous.
Lacking out.
As usual, you get horrible mileage. Probably better to end this. Mezzo, Insider on!
Insider.
Move it! Right on the shoulder, please. That kind of hurt.
Closing. Game.
All according to plan.
Yeah, let me see what you got. Hell of a growth rate you have there. Bell! 21% mezzo, got it?
Yes, sir.
To minimize the effect on reality, we win by the slightest margin possible. Our objective is to control the deal, so we have to be acutely aware of all the factors involved.
You mean like gathering information on your opponent?
Well, everyone does that sort of thing. But for us, it's more important to have a grasp of our own strength over that of our opponents. That way, we can more accurately measure ourselves against the other entrees.
Measuring my own strength.
Not just your physical capabilities, but your intelligence, wealth, and everything else. The wider the criteria and the wider your knowledge, the more accurate your perception of your opponents will be.
Their assets too?
Absolutely. After all, if we're measuring your strength in a deal, then your assets are the most important factor.
If that's the case, tell me more about them before my next deal.
If you want to know more about assets, you have one standing right here.
I didn't think of that.
You got a plan this time?
I hear this guy uses a bunch of different attacks, so I'm gonna try to lay back until I figure out everything he can do.
Another jackass from the guild. This is gonna be a pain.
This would be a lot easier if we just beat him down instead.
Work with me here. I'm trying to figure out how to control the deal.
Might I have to get stuck with a weirdo like you. Assets belong to their entrees, you know, so I can't put out a single micro without your okay.
I know you're worried, but sometimes you just gotta go with your gut.
Go with your gut?
Look at the time. Today's membership dues should come in any minute now.
Barbarossa!
Great Wall.
Microflation!
What the hell is this?
Can you get out?
Hold on a sec!
This wall's not the asset, it's inflation?
Well, aren't you clever?
So much for going with my gut.
What's going on?
All right, Barbarossa. He's all yours.
You got out!
Get out of here!
Okay!
Damn it!
Masha!
Right!
Barbarossa, come here and protect me! All we gotta do is run down the clock!
400,000. Mashu, I need cover!
No problem! You want inflation, right?
No, discard me!
You got balls, kid! Bring it on! I almost had you! Damn it!
Perfect. It's close, but I'll win. Oh no, she's gonna ruin it. Back off, Mashu!
Huh?
Ah, man.
Aww. This sucks.
Well, what do you expect from me in return?
As Deputy Governor, I want you to stop all budget cuts for the next fiscal year.
You think the economy could still use a boost? Huh, I can't disagree with that. However, the nation's up to its eyeballs in debt and something has to budge.
Don't worry, I'll continue to cover the deficit myself.
So the debt of our entire nation would rest on your shoulders. Frankly, I don't know whether I should laugh or cry.
Surely that man wasn't serious. Who was he?
Oh, he was serious. When he says he can bear the burden of our debt, then we would do well to believe him. Without his help, our economy would be unsustainable.
Sir, is this a joke? Even if he could shoulder the debt, why would he bother?
To help the people, that's why.
All that money? Just to keep a couple of public service programs open while the economy is falling apart?
Is that foolish to you? Sacrificing yourself to help the public?
No, of course not.
No longer somebody else's problem, is it? You worry about what'll happen to the poor saps you beat, then it happens to you.
I didn't lose by much. It shouldn't be a big deal.
Maybe, but I've seen people's houses burned down over no big deal.
What? But why?
Who knows? Guess it depends on the bank and how much of your future they want to cash in. It's kind of a gray area if you ask me.
Well, it didn't burn down.
Hello?
Hey, it's me. Just calling to check on you.
Talk about impeccable timing. I was just about to leave for the hospital.
Huh?
There's no need to worry. It's just appendicitis. I should be home in a week. You don't have to come visit me. I'd be embarrassed if everyone made a big deal out of this.
Whatever you say, Aunt Kyoko. You sure there's not something else? Nothing bad happened recently?
No, why? I know I'm about to be hospitalized, but I'm in great shape for my age.
That's good.
Did you see that? Somebody actually failed.
Are you serious? I skipped half the lectures and still did fine.
What can I say? Some of those guys out there are a lost cause.
This must be the effect. Well, guess that's not so bad. What about Hanabi?
What's up with you? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I'm fine. Nothing bad has happened to you lately, has it? Like an injury or an illness or something like that?
Calm down. Nothing's wrong, okay? I'm doing fine. Actually, something good just came up. Remember that student teaching application I sent to my alma mater? It got approved. It seemed like there were a lot of applicants this year, so I was kind of worried, but I was really hoping I'd get to go back to my old school. I have a lot of nice memories of the place. Oh, that reminds me. I bought a new suit for the job. I'll wear it next time. You won't even recognize me.
My bad luck must not have any effect on her. Why am I so depressed? I should be happy.
Congratulations on surviving another week.
Right back at you. I'm glad to see you could make it here. Sadly, reality is being rewritten the same way as usual. Birth rates and resources are down, while crime and suicide are up.
Sure spoils your day, doesn't it? Whole world getting switched around behind your back.
Are your people going to do anything about it?
We don't have a plan yet. We're not even an international organization. But on the upside, at least they believe the info you leaked to us is credible. Here's what I have on the financial district. Might not be anything new, but I felt guilty about taking and never giving anything back. See ya.
What?
I was wondering how you were doing with the injury and all.
Injury? That's nothing.
Yeah, I know. You're a really fast healer, right?
All of this is your fault. We were totally winning that fight.
Why'd you have to stop me, huh?
I was trying
You
to...
can't just pull that crap out of nowhere. How would you like it if you got punched and couldn't fight back?
I may heal fast, but that was still painful. If you have some complicated battle plan, tell me about it first. But you probably just made it up as you went along, didn't you? Assets can only do what their entrees tell them. Huh? What's that beeping?
Oh, sorry, I just made a cup of ramen.
Cup of ramen?
Guess you guys don't have it in the district. It's food.
Okay, so what's food?
It's the stuff you eat.
What does that mean?
You can't be serious. You've never eaten a meal?
A meal? Nope, I've never heard of a meal.
Okay. Here, let me show you.
Oh my gosh, that's gross. Why would you do something disgusting like that?
For nutrition. It gives me energy. That it tastes good.
What does that mean?
Huh. How can I say this? It just puts me in a good mood. Kind of like when I'm having fun or I'm happy about something.
Let me try something.
Huh?
Come on. You just said it was fun, right?
Well, yeah.
Put it in my mouth. Here.
Nah, forget it.
Why not?
I'll bring you some next time.
Hey, stop that! Get over it! Hold on, you jerk! Save it for me! See. See.
That's the guy Mr. Mikuni fought last time.
His opponent is Saizawa Yasushi, another incredibly wealthy entree.
With that much money to throw around, they're going to rip each other to shreds.
No matter which one of them loses, reality is going to suffer tremendously for it. If only Kikuchi would show the same restraint that Mikuni showed him.
The old man's too stubborn to think that way. This deal is going to be a massacre. If the guild doesn't take over soon, we're all screwed.
Why weren't you able to persuade him?
Give me a break. The guy is filthy stinking rich. He's not exactly easy to bribe, you know.
We can get you the money. No matter what the cost, we can't let deals like this go on.
Roger.
Open deal.
Here we go! The old fool only knows one trick. Now, Porte! Mepsoflation! I'm about to bleed you dry. Do you hear me?
I won't finish him off this week.
Was robbed by a number of serious allegations. Their president, Yoshiki Kikuchi, faces several charges of embezzlement in illegal drug sale. With consumer trust plummeting, the future of the company is anybody's guess.
It's hard to imagine that one deal could have such a negative effect on reality.
What'll happen if Basho Pharmaceuticals goes out of business?
Good question. It'd likely start a chain reaction of bankruptcies. We'd be looking at economic losses upwards of 100 billion yen. The company's assets and any drugs they have in development would be sold to the highest bidder to alleviate the debt, which would be a huge loss. What worries me is everything I've mentioned is just the tip of the iceberg. If Basho Pharmaceuticals goes under, their entire workforce will suddenly find themselves without work. They currently employ about 10,000 people. The bankruptcy wouldn't just affect Kikuchi. It would effectively ruin his employees' futures as well.
10,000 people.
Finally sinking in, is it?
Yeah. So, I didn't see your wife. How's she doing?
I wouldn't know. She left me. You'd think I'd be broken up about it, but I don't feel anything anymore. Every day it gets harder to remember my wife and kids. Guess my memories are fading.
It won't work.
Why you say that?
Because there's no way you can pull off these moves.
What does that mean?
It means your plan sucks because you still don't know how to measure your own strength. Back to the drawing board. Like the guy said, you gotta know a bunch of stuff if you want to control a deal. If you go in unprepared, not only are you gonna lose money, I'm gonna get my ass whooped.
Fine, give it here.
Feeding your asset, huh? Now there's something you don't see every day.
Huh? Is there something wrong with that?
You can do whatever you want, noob.
Noob? Did you come here to make fun of me?
No, of course not. I came here to sell you some information you might find interesting. You know about Basho Pharmaceuticals, right?
Of course I do.
You're worried about them, aren't you?
How the hell do you know that?
I'm an information trafficker. How about a cool million?
Isn't that kinda high?
Actually, that's the minimum I charge for my services these days, so be grateful. Besides, with the money you're pulling in now, that won't exactly break the bank. You'll probably hear about this on the news in the other world a few days from now. But FE Pharma, a drug company formed 5 years ago, just bought out Basho Pharmaceuticals, debts and all. As far as the media is concerned, FE Pharma is a foreign company. But in actuality, the owner is none other than Soichiro Mikuni. That means the damage done to the real world by Kikuchi's last deal will be minimal. That's the information you wanted to hear, isn't it?
Did you need something?
Kind of.
That's Takerizaki for you. But he's right, FE Pharma does belong to me. When Isuragi told me that Kikuchi lost his deal, I took action right away.
Because you wanted to limit the effect it would have on reality.
Exactly. One of the Guild's purposes is to combine our Midas money to limit the damage that deals like that might cause. Eventually, our Guild will take over the entire financial district. That'll make it easier to control what happens in and outside of the deals.
Why'd you take all this on yourself?
Would you rather do it instead of me?
What are you talking about?
So how do you like the city?
Huh?
The financial district, I mean. What do you think?
I like it. It's an amazing place.
I can't argue with that. I used to feel the same way. But what's so amazing about it?
I don't know how to put it. It's like this whole new world with all these possibilities that I never knew about before.
I suppose you could call it a new world. But I always thought of it as a mirror that shows us a part of our world that we never knew existed. And that's pretty amazing, too. It seems strange at first. Even frightening the way everyone spends Midas money, how they can affect the real world without even realizing it. I thought, isn't there something I can do? Midas money is obviously evil. But then I realized something. The financial district and Midas money are both a reality we can't escape. In the end, we could no sooner destroy the financial district than we could destroy our own world. It's the same with Midas money. Trying to stop it from flowing into our reality would be like trying to stop the circulation of all currency on the planet. Our only choice is to coexist. But to make sure that coexistence is a relatively peaceful one, I formed the Starling Guild. All I can do is try to control the profit-making balance between our reality and the financial district. So I buy Japanese government bonds with Midas money to prevent the collapse of the country.
Even though you think money's evil?
Our nation already moves to the beat of its drum. If the flow were to stop, everything would fall apart. Everyone would be miserable. Who would benefit from something like that? Even if the world is stained in evil, as long as it's peaceful, I'd still choose that over a world where people starve. I don't care if I get my hands dirty. My only goal is to protect this world as it is now.
I understand that, but I still can't get used to people using the black money. I don't care if it's the only thing keeping our country from collapsing. I'm still not willing to accept it, not yet anyway.
Just give it a little more time. Someday you'll understand.
I'm not so sure.
I am. Trust me.
Hey, could I ask you something?
Sure, go ahead.
Why are you so interested in that yoga kid? It's not like he's especially sharp, just the opposite even. And you said he was an economics student, didn't you? You sure wouldn't guess that by the way he talks about money.
Those obsessed with money hold on to it. They don't make it move. That's what makes him interesting. For now, think of him as my little pet project. Objections?
Nope.
Q. Did you hear that Kamimuro fed his ass that instant ramen?
What's ramen? If you like, I can bring you some next time.
No, thank you. I'm fine.
I read your report. I hate to say it, but it seems like every time you come in, the little bit of good news we have turns bad.
It's not getting any better. The financial district is destroying the future of mankind.
You've made that point abundantly clear.
We don't have time to worry about the risk. We have to stop the flow of Midas money immediately.
I'm afraid that's not your decision. Let me assure you, you're not the only investigator who's mentioned this. I'm sorry, but you're just a small-time bureaucrat. And there are some things you don't have the power to fix.
This morning, Kimimuro Yoga officially became a member of the Starling Guild.
Considering how he did last time, isn't it a bit early for a balance deal? Especially against that weirdo.
If he can't handle this, let him crash and burn. Better now when he won't cause a big ripple in the real world.
Oh, that's gross!